We normally don't hit home runs in this pod, but today we have a special guest on. Along with my battery mate, Dustin, we have Liz McGuire joining us today. We're going to talk some Jays, little week recap, and also the whirlwind that was the week for Liz. Let's clear out this week, basically, and what happened with the Jays. Dustin, we talked about on our last State of the Season episode how important the month of May would be, and well, it hasn't gone. Actually, I think it's gone exactly as expected.
Yeah, it's about status quo. It hasn't been as good as we would have liked it to be. You know, we talked a little bit about, you know, that small chance, you know, small percentage chance of, you know, sweeping the Detroit and, you know, getting above 500 by the end of May. I don't know. I mean, if they're going to have to do quite a bit here before, or by the end of the Pirates series to get even close to 500. So yeah, it's been disappointing, but it is the way that the team is built right now.
Yeah, so I went into the season with lower expectations, I think, than Dustin did. I think we are a 400 plus, maybe 500 level team at best, And so, you know, they showed us who they were all last year. You know, and I remember thinking when the bats pick up, but the bats were never picking up, guys. Like, it wasn't going to happen. But I think that for me, I want this to be the year in which we all look within our hearts and we think about the team that we want and the ownership that we want, and hopefully we can get closer to being there.
We've lived through some lean years as a Blue Jays fan, and you know, there's a lot of things that we can talk about and think about and you know, hope on and dream on. High round draft picks, and you know, we can talk about start talking about trade rumors and that kind of thing. But it is much more fun to have a winning team and to have hopes for the playoffs. So I am kind of an optimistic fan. I did see the potential in this team, but there's just not it.
It's almost like it's the wrong crew. I feel like if we were to make some trades, they're always going to be better on other teams. Like we saw that with, you know, who do we see that with? I mean, I don't know if we had Gabby kind of long enough to really test him out, but like, I feel like that will be something that we'll see. And I feel like, I don't know what's going on with the coaching culture of the Jays or how they're kind of being coached along, but I feel like there's something inherently broken in the combination and the entire kind of machine that is the Blue Jays right now. And I feel like it is disappointing, and wouldn't it be fun if we just went on a hot streak? Wouldn't that be beautiful? But it seems like they're just missing some grit and some a little bit of kind of like, you know, this is a team that when we're down, I mean, today they did well. They did rally, they did come back. But I feel like, especially last year, we had a team that when they were down by 2, I was like, they're not coming back, guys. Like, we may be like 0-2, and we may be playing the worst team in the NL right now, but they're not coming back.
Well, and if you have a baseball team that never comes back, it's not good, right? And it doesn't make for a very interesting baseball.
Have we had a walk-off yet?
We've helped given other people some walk-offs, that's for sure. But no, I don't think so. And there's just something I will say this to you. So my nephew, who's 7 or he's 8, he just started playing baseball, but he watches a lot of games. But he's not like he's not a total nerd. He says to me, he was like, I was watching the game and we were playing. I can't remember who we were playing, but there was somebody on first and third for the other team, and he said to me, "Hey Lizzie, like other teams, they get a base hit and they score in a point. They get in the runner." But the whole thing was, he wasn't even criticizing the Jays. He was just saying what he saw. He said other teams do that. Other teams do that.
Yeah, first and third, nobody out. I mean, like, you expect to score at least one.
No, but with the Jays, I'll tell you exactly what will happen. It's like a strikeout and a double play.
They listen, if they don't ground into a double play, and if my guy, let's see. So lately, actually, usually it's Vladdy. Vladdy was grounding into a lot. It's been Bo kind of recently. And then my favorite at-bats are the Kevin Biggio. Just kind of stand there. If you just sort of stand there, watch some strikes go by. Then like they ground into a double play. That's like somebody who's like, if we had Ohtani, here's how that would go. It would be Ohtani gets on base. You know, Springer pops out, and then it was some kind of thing where they would just ground into a double play. Somebody else would get on, they would just ground into a double play. Doesn't matter.
So Kevin Biggio, I'm glad you brought this up because every time he's at bat, they always talk about his chase rate is so low and he doesn't he doesn't swing at pitches. He doesn't swing at pitches at all.
He just stands there. He's like, we're gonna stash you this whole situation.
Now he did take a big swing today and hit a home run.
We were all shocked, but like I love Kevin. Like I hope Kevin has a good season, man. I've got nothing but goodwill for Kevin. I feel like he is a good utility guy. He's like, man. Do you remember I think it was the unforced out he made at first. Do you remember that? I call it the Kevin Biggio game, where he got a home run, and then there was a play at first. Something wild happened, and he got like 2 outs there. Anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. And then he was pumping his fist, heading back to the dugout.
Yeah, I think Kevin Biggio is a smart guy. I think he's probably a really good at high baseball IQ, but I don't know what's going on there.
He's great when you have star players on the team, and he's a great sort of fill in, middle of the order, not middle of the order, but like middle of the roster kind of. He's good at some defense. He can play different positions. He can get on base and, hit the odd home run. So, yeah, it's great. But, I mean, no team's going to rely on a Kevin Biggio to carry them for a game or 3. And so, yeah, it seems like we just have a bunch of those guys, a bunch of those kind of support players. And the guys that are supposed to be get the team on their back kind of guys, the Vladdies and the Bos. I mean, they're just not performing to the levels that they should. And you mentioned earlier, like the fear of them doing it at another team. Vladdy I can see that 100% happening, right? He leaves at the end of next year because the Jays don't want to pay him or whatever. And he's on, I don't know, the Padres or whatever team. And he's just like, now he's, a world beater and winning MVPs. And you're like, what the hell? Like, why couldn't you do that for us?
The mix of players, I think, is the problem. It just, I don't know. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but the mix of players just doesn't seem to like mesh together. Right. And who's the leader of this team?
Danny Jansen. The answer is Danny Jansen.
Is Danny Jansen going to walk over to Vladdy after he makes another base running error or bobbles a routine out at first?
No, slap him around? No, that's not what.
Right.
Yeah, who is the leader of this team?
There isn't one, and that's the problem.
It's supposed to be like Bo and Springer and,
I think Springer probably, but...
And maybe they brought in Justin Turner to kind of try and take that role. I don't know if he's been there long enough to do that, but
maybe it's secretly just Vogelback. He's just standing around.
He's the fun guy.
I want to be Daniel Vogelback. Like, he just like hangs out on the bench, comes in for an at bat at the end of the game, hopes he gets his bat on the ball, and then he might get another at bat a few days later. It's what a life.
It is a life. Yeah,
it's like the bullpen catcher.
Yeah, exactly. That is Daniel Vogelback.
All right, so Dustin, you mentioned the fading playoff hopes. Fangraphs, the updated percentage chance of them making the playoffs is decreased significantly from 24% when we last talked to 15.3%. The Jays are on the ropes right now. They are 23-29 in the AL East, 4-6 since we last recorded. Like this is everything, almost everything since we we were hoping things were going to improve with this, weaker opposition in May. No, same thing, same as usual.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the easy, soft part of the schedule. I mean, they took 2 or 3 against Chicago, but they should have swept them. And even here, like against Detroit, I mean, Detroit's kind of the Toronto Blue Jays of their division. They've got some pretty good pitching. They don't hit very well. Unfortunately, they just got the better of the Jays in this series. I mean, today's game was just wild. Like, you score, what was it, 11 runs? And you lose the game. Like Jimmy Garcia, like you got the game in hand, two innings. Jimmy Garcia and Jordan Romano are rested, and then you lose. Like if it's not the bats, like once the bats are coming on, then the bullpen is falling apart. I think this is the worst bullpen I've seen in a long time. And it's the same bullpen as last year, which was one of the best I've seen in a long time. I guess like bullpens are kind of that way anyways, but it's just so frustrating. Just the comedy of errors that is this team right now.
This week, a couple things I wanted to talk about. The home run jacket has made a return.
We need more vibes, right? Like like here's the thing. There's a lot of haters. I think we were an early kind of adopter of the celebration home run situation, and then everybody had their own stuff. But like, I don't know whose idea it was to get rid of it, and why it was gone so long, because they kept fake putting it on. They would get a home run and pretend to put the jacket on, but there was no jacket there.
Yeah, I think that's not necessarily known. A lot of suspicions are that it was Bo and maybe some others that kind of are more on the serious side, especially after I think so. What they took it away at the beginning of 23. After 2022, there was kind of a disappointing playoff series there where they just made a lot of sort of errors and bonehead running mistakes. I think that was the year 22 is when Vladdy got picked off at second there in one game. So there was a lot of kind of that, we got to be more serious kind of talk. And that's when it went. I don't know who's responsible for that. I mean, they'll tell you it's probably just the team. The team is responsible. They made it as a decision, just like they said that bringing it back was a team decision. I mean, I don't know. I'm on your side there, Liz. I think that we need some vibes. We need some just something to cheer for, something to talk about.
Yeah, we need something. This team it's like when I think of the last year and how dour the team was. I remember going into the playoffs and thinking, "Oh, I can't wait for this to be over." Like I just after the first wild card game, I was like, "I can't with this team anymore." They the chemistry's off. They were joyless to watch. I remember I go to maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 games a year, and there was no joy in the ballpark. I didn't have a moment where I felt elated. I thought everything felt like a grind or a slog. It felt like nobody was laughing. There was no laughter. Gone were the days of the pineapple-headed handsome man doing goofy things for us. That was gone.
Making fruit cocktails in the dugout. Yeah.
Making fruit cocktails in the dugout, and like Teo throwing seeds, and that was another handsome man doing funny things for us. And those days were over. The jacket was gone. It almost felt like we were all being punished. Maybe the entire thing was, to kind of straighten up. But it just and all we had was Schneider. Last year we had a lovely moment with David Schneider, for me anyway. And other than that, it was a pretty joyless existence.
Yeah, I mean that was the moment that was really the only thing I remember about last year. I mean that's probably the only thing I'll remember. 5-10 years from now, 2023.
I remember them being good in April last year for some reason, like really, like vividly. I don't know. Dustin and I were really excited at that point. We had just started this. Jays are playing well and pulling off double steals and all kinds of, they're playing baseball. And then obviously the bottom dropped out in May. And well, we know the rest of the story.
Yeah, I call that they were really baseballing. They were like really baseballing then.
They were definitely baseballing. That's a good way to put it. I personally was not a huge fan of the home run jacket, but I have changed my mind because we were as we were early adopters. So I think, Dustin, you did a little bit of research that the San Diego Padres were the first with the chain, and then the Jays were shortly after with the jacket.
Yeah, having some kind of prop like that started from like college football. I think there was a Miami, Florida team that had some kind of chain, and the Padres had their chain, and then I think the Jays were like second team with something, and it was the jacket, and then everybody got in on it. I think Boston was doing their shopping cart down the aisle or whatever the hell they were doing, and there's some weird stuff now. I think.
Well, summer sausages, anyone?
Yeah, yeah. Orioles have like a freaking beer bong. Jesus.
That was a lot. That was a lot. I was like, it's just water.
Yeah, yeah. But I like the jacket as a thing, like in terms of, and if you're gonna have one of these things, I mean it's simple. It's classy. I like they got the red carpet now. It's pretty cool. I think it's reasonable. It's got all the countries on the back, with all the players, representatives, and I'm sure coaches and whatever, all the different countries that everyone's from. So I really like it, and I really like the design of the new one that they've got with the Canadian flag on the one sleeve and the TO on the other. I think it's really cool.
What made me chuckle though, so the home run jacket made its first appearance on Wednesday, right? Bo Bichette's home run. It was actually available on Tuesday, but they got shut out. So there was no home run jacket for its debut. It's just so Blue Jays. I don't know. But home run jacket, if it makes people happy, then great, fine by me. Liz, did you watch the power outage broadcast?
No, okay. So I didn't watch a power outage because I fell asleep. I was like, I'm not. Yeah, I did hear about it. So that is a rare game. I was not watching it. I decided I was gonna have a nap because I'd given these people enough of my time lately.
Yeah, you must. Yeah, I must have been tired. Yeah, I didn't watch it either. I was at a work function, so I was busy.
Was that an early game? Was like they started early that day, like 6 or something?
Yeah, it's like a Tampa Bay time, kind of like they start before 7. I couldn't figure it out. I turned on the TV and the audio was terrible. And then there's a ribbon across the bottom of the screen saying technical difficulties. And then I went on Twitter or whatever, and Shulman was basically saying there's a power outage, and it was hilarious. I don't know. I love when people have to. Not everything is ideal, and you got to figure it out, right? And these guys were broadcasting on their cell phones, and they're a little bit ahead, but all good.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna diss anyone for trying their best. We do our best.
So the one thing, I guess, the ramification or the domino effect was that there were no iPads in the dugout on Thursday. I'm of the opinion I would ban any technology in the dugout. I hate iPads in the dugout. I absolutely can't stand it. Baseball is a very traditional sport. They still use wood for bats, right? Like we have much better materials to hit things farther, right? But iPads, like, now they won. Obviously, I doubt it had anything to do with that, but I don't know. iPads in the dugout. What say you?
I think Varsho thought that saw something where he said that he thought it helped. If it helps you to watch your at bat back and see what happened and watch the pitcher's pitch, and if that helps, then it helps. If it doesn't help, then you got to take it away. So I wouldn't take it away, but I would hope that players are more responsible and they can understand if this is a distraction, that they should be not doing it and doing something else.
I like this hot take about iPads. It's like, baseball is a traditional sport with wooden bats, soon to be robotic umps. It's like, I don't know. But the thing is, oh my God, do you remember when, I think it was Chris Bassett just smashed the iPad? He's watching the iPad last year, and then he gets so mad, he smashes it to pieces. So for that reason, I enjoyed the iPads in the dugout, but I really have no opinion on it. I mean, yeah, if it's an analytical tool that helps, fine. But I don't really, I guess, I don't really understand how it would distract. They're not like iPadding like children,
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that this is a distraction or anything like that. I don't know. I just think this should be an MLB thing, right? Let's just lower this back to, it's baseball. Dustin and I used to play on different teams, but in this hardball league in Newmarket, and literally you just sit there and watch everyone's at bat. What is the guy throwing? You get out, you come back to the dugout, you talk about, oh, he's got a good curve, or watch out for this. But what do these guys do? They just come and watch themselves, whatever at bat that they just struck out or.
You're romanticizing baseball, and I'm like, I need you to hit the ball, and I need you to hit the ball the best that you can, and whatever will help you do that is legal, please do so, because you guys, you're not hitting the ball. If this was a hitting team, I'd be like, maybe no iPads, but maybe you should look at yourself and think, yes, I did not hit that ball.
I think whenever, a team struggles, it seems to be there's a lot of these, and not takes like yours, but there's a lot of takes about, well, I think I hear, what's his name, Barker talking about this all the time. Well, these guys, they got too many coaches in their ears, and they too much information, and it's these guys got to learn how to say no, blah 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 blah. I mean, we don't know. We don't know what what the problem is on any particular player, or if it is even a problem. Like I said, they just got to recognize if it is a problem and stop it if it is, and use it if it isn't a problem and if it helps them. So if it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not a traditionalist. Bring on the old robot umps, honestly.
I should kick you off this podcast right now for that comment. Fucking robot umps. Fucking robot. I hate this shit. We're all humans. We make mistakes. Everyone live with it. As an aside, okay, I have another favorite sport, which is soccer. And they've recently brought in, well, not I guess recently, but in the last 5 years, they brought in video review. It's a fucking disaster in England. Like a fucking disaster. It's totally zapped any excitement. Like they're waiting for goals and stuff. And now saying that, there's other leagues that have done it better. And so I'm quite resistant to things that are just unnecessarily like, do we really need a strike to be a strike by a millimeter? Like, I don't know. Like, as long as it's not egregious, that's all I really care about, really.
Maybe I think the best of both worlds would be, at least for the robot umps, is the challenge system that they have in the minors right now, where it's called as normal, and then if a player wants to challenge, then they challenge. I like that. That works for me.
All right, we're going to talk about Liz's whirlwind week, but I would like to do some quick hits, Liz. Does John Schneider get fired?
Okay, so I have a hot take on this one, and I'm going to be wrong, but I said it was before All-Star break. He gets fired before. I'm going to use the All-Star break as kind of a kind of marker in my life for when I want to do things, and also when I want the Jays to do things. So I think pre-All-Star break, we're going to see him gone. We have these losses that are so embarrassing. Getting no hit, losing to the Tigers. Like, we should be better than this. I've seen him scared before. He seems better these days. But I feel like he is part of the large, obviously we know he's part of the larger problem, but I think before All-Star break, we'll see him gone. Who will be in there? We don't know.
Dustin is June 6th, and I have waited in for June 15th as my John Schneider firing date.
All right, so we're all
on the same page.
We're all on the same thing. Yeah.
It's happening.
Especially now. Now I'm even more confident in my June 6th.
All right. Favorite players, current favorite player and all-time favorite player.
Okay, so guys, like I loved Roberto Alomar. I really loved. We all caught the taste, but then he gave a lot of people AIDS, and I think that he wasn't a good dude, and so no longer Roberto Alomar. Oh, and I loved Kelly Gruber. My love of Kelly Gruber, which is just like because he was he was just such a dude. He was such a dude. I loved Kelly Gruber. I remember one time when weed was illegal still, my friend, he was partying with Kelly Gruber and gave me Kelly Gruber's weed, and because he couldn't take over the border, and I gifted it to my brother for Christmas. And that was a special time for me.
Sweet.
Gifting my brother Kelly Gruber's weed.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I loved Kelly Gruber too. I was a third baseman as a kid, so he was my guy.
Kelly Gruber slayed. My favorite player on the team, oh, man. So, I mean, I think Danny Jansen's the best Jay. I stand by that. But I love Vladdy. I love his vibe, and I love his commitment to the city. I hate his downer performance these years. But if everybody's like, you could pick Vladdy or Bo, I'm like, I pick Vladdy. I don't know. I love the guy. I think he's the clown prince of the Blue Jays, but I think he takes it extremely seriously.
I mean, I have very similar answers to Liz. I mean, there's something just like I said, Kelly Gruber was just, I idolized him as a kid. I like Devon White as well, as a sort of secondary option. And then Roy Halladay, I have to mention him. But current favorite player right now, man, that's a tough one. I love Bo Bichette. He's going to win a batting title. If there's anybody to sign long term, it should be him and Danny Jansen. So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like I agree with you on that. I think you're correct. But I just love Vladdy. I wish that it turned or would turn out differently.
I grew up loving Tony Fernandez.
Tony Fernandez slayed. I have his rookie card somewhere. Yeah.
I grew up like absolutely loving Tony Fernandez. That That flip throw from like deep and short was amazing. I wore number 12 because of Roberto Alomar, so loved him obviously as well. Current favorite player, I'm gonna say Dalton Varsho.
Man, Varsho is just crushing. Like, yeah, I don't know. He's so fun to watch. Like Varsho is like just so fun to watch. He looks like I mean I haven't seen him in real life close up, but he looks like he'd be a very large dude.
Yeah. It's like a linebacker build.
Yeah, it's like a strong safety running the bases basically. Like he's a football player, and I don't know. He's just a hoover. He's like a total hoover in the outfield, right? Like nothing gets past him, by him, anything. So I don't know. I've kind of been hoping he's playing better, and I think he is significantly this year, given comparatively last year.
Yeah, I mean he got another dinger. I think he got another dinger today. Yeah.
Yeah.
He tied it up. Yeah.
Is he gonna hit 30 this year?
Maybe. And it won't matter, but maybe.
All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, how mad were you when Barrios was taken out of the game?
I know what you're asking. I was done. I was like, my heart was broken for the man, right? Like 11. So that was the game where I was like, we could win this maybe, but like that was like the second wild card game, I believe. And I was already spent from the worst season ever. For me anyway, from a fan perspective, it was just so dour. And you know what I thought? I thought, I see you, our management. I see you, our ownership. I see what's like. That was for me. It's like we do stats. That's what we do. We don't care about vibes or fun or magic. You know, we just care about statistics and bean counting.
Yeah, no disagreement for me.
Yeah.
Liz, who's your leadoff hitter?
Oh, bud. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm sad because we know who I wanted it to be, which was our guy, George Springer. The leadoff hitter is Schneider. Schneider is my leadoff hitter.
Good answer.
Like that's the truth. Like that's the truth.
I have no argument to, like, right. David Schneider has to be up there, right? He's performing better than most. So
could you put like who? Okay, I guess like he's performing excellent. No, I think for me that's the right answer.
Yeah, the tough part is like there's no true leadoff hitter on this team, anyways. But I mean, you just put the best player, the best hitter there right now with some speed.
We did kind of on a prior episode like who should be now versus who would be like when they get back hitting well. Like who would you? And I said Bo Bichette. As a leadoff hitter.
Yeah, Bo'd be great leadoff. Yeah, Bo. I think that's a good one because like man, that guy can get hits. You know, like he is consistent when he's running hot to string together hits. Although he could be batting cleanup too. So I don't know.
The lineup's a dog's breakfast. So, all right, let's take a break and we're gonna talk about Liz's whirlwind week. All right. Well, Liz, you had a whirlwind week. Can you? I did see. I think everyone saw it on Twitter. In fact, I think everybody I know, even non-baseball fans, kind of shared the tweet of what happened. So, did it happen on Monday? Could you take us back to,
No, it was on Friday. Like it was on Friday, but then I went into hiding for a bit.
It was on Friday.
So
I was
at the game. Yeah, I was at the game on last Friday, not this Friday. It was last Friday. Thank God. It's been a minute. My face is still pretty jacked up, as you can see, but we're getting there. It was a Friday night's game. I think it was the 20th. I don't know. It was a day, but it was Friday night's game. We were against Tampa, I think. And I was just sitting in my seat, shooting the shit with my buds, and I turned to my left to say, "We need some robot umpires," which is like, I feel a pretty solid thing to be saying at the baseball game. And I looked straight ahead and I just felt impact. I just got rocked. Like I get rocked by this baseball, and I knew what had happened right away. I was like, I've been hit by a ball.
Did you get the ball?
No, what happened is that I was so the Jays medics come down, they bring me up, they ice me up. I like stand up and I'm like, am I good? We're good. I'm good. Things are good. Adrenaline's like pumping, and everybody around me is like, what? Like they look real scared, and I was like, I don't think I'm good. Like there's no way I could be good from this. So I was like, okay. So the Jays medics bring me up. They ice me up. I'm on the concourse. My friends are down there, and they're like, they go to get the ball from a woman who has like it's ricocheted off my face and nothing into her lap. And they ask, can we have this ball? Our friend's been really hurt. It hit her in the face. And she said, no. And then they said, we will give you any amount of money for this ball. Okay? Because my friends are real ones. She says, no. Then they start chant. The crowd starts to chant, give her the ball, as in me. And then she walks out of the game. She leaves the game. And this is like eighth inning. And I'm on the concourse. I've got like ice on my face. It's a goose egg. Like this thing is phenomenal.
I saw the pictures.
And like at this point, I haven't even looked at it. I just feel it. I feel it. And I'm like, I see her on the concourse. And I said, hey, I got really hurt. Could I please have the baseball? And her husband laughed at me. And she said, I'm not doing that for you. And she left the game.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what happened to me at the baseball game.
I'm left speechless by. So I knew that you didn't take the ball home, right? Like I was aware of that part of the story, but the details you just filled into me, I'm like, really? Like what? This is.
It reminds me of like those guys. Like you see a lot of pictures, videos of people will catch the balls and then they'll look around and they'll give it to a kid, and it's like, yeah, that's what you do. And when you don't see somebody do that, it's like, what are you like? What are you gonna do with that?
There's like, yeah, exactly. I was telling one of my buddies that a ball is a ball is a ball is a ball when you catch it, right? It's just like there's no meaning to the ball. Like behind me here, I think maybe to my one of the directions, I have a Buck Martinez signed ball. There it is. It's my Buck Martinez signed baseball. And that was special. Like I met Buck Martinez the day that we caught a ball in batting practice. My buddy gave it to me, and we saw Buck Martinez in the stands, and he signed it. That was special. But like other than that, it's just a baseball. Like I remember I was sitting on the concourse and I was icing my face, and I thought if they get me the ball back, I'm gonna take the ball. Me and my nephew, we're gonna go down to the river, and we're just gonna fire it into the river, and we're never gonna see it again. I was like, I don't want it. But it was the premise of that, like in baseball, kind of that is the fan code. If someone gets mashed by a ball, you give them the ball, right? Especially because the laces are actually right embedded in my forehead right now. And like if a kid's there, you give the kid the ball. Like there's just like a decency amongst fans that I felt was broken there. So I left town. So I was like pretty mad. I went to the hospital right after. I went to St. Mike's, and they scanned my face and did whatever else to make sure I was okay. And then I left town. Because, also, I wanted to go because the Guelph Royals were playing the Toronto Maple Leafs team in the Inter-County Baseball League, and I really wanted to go to that game on Saturday. So I was like, I'm fine, I'm probably fine, but I want to go to this baseball game. So I go to Guelph to see my brother and just hide out, and it's like, I look bad, it's growing. And the doctors at St. Mike's said, it's going to melt down. Like this goose egg, all the blood is going to leak down your face. And I was like, okay, it turned out to be a very helpful thing because I wasn't surprised when it started, like it went into one eye and now it's gone into the other eye. So I'm in Guelph and I'm hanging out there and I'm just sitting there and I don't feel good. Like it's a couple days later and I'm like, I had a weird time at the baseball game. That was a weird time. Everybody, like the Jays made it seem like that was a normal thing that happens, but I don't think that was a normal thing that happened at all. So I sent a tweet that was just like I reached out to the Jays, they didn't get back to me. So I sent the tweet out, and I'm like, hey, I got hit at the baseball match. Can anyone hook me up with the ball? I stayed for the entire game, but someone stole my ball. And I put the phone down, and within an hour, I had 4 million views. And then I was like, whoa. And then I put the phone back down again for a while because I assumed everybody was just being mean to me because I had admitted that I turned my head for a moment. I don't think I could have caught the ball. Like it's on Twitter if you want to see the shot. The shot is so hot. Comes off the bat and directly I'm sitting outside by the third baseline, kind of in the middle 100 seats, so maybe row 30. And it's like past the third baseline towards outfield, but it goes off Bo's bat and curves. There's a wicked curve, and then it falls down at my face.
Jeez.
So it didn't arc. There was no arc. I've been to games. I know the rules of like seeing. I had no chance in hell of registering anything that fast. Anyway, so I go to Guelph. I send the tweet, and I'm like, cool. Okay, people seem to like be rallying around my whole situation here. That is amazing. And everyone was super nice to me. And then, I mean, aside from the usual chiding that one would give of like, were you taking selfies, etc., which I actually was not. And so then I'm like hanging out, and I'm like I think so. I'm like, okay, cool. I see there's like tweets from Tops. People are tagging Tops. They just keep tagging Tops, tagging Tops, tagging Tops. But I'm like, they're just joking, you know. I'd seen how Tops had made the bee card. I think they were in maybe Arizona, where the bees took over, and then the exterminator comes on field
Yeah,
and
yeah.
takes the bees off, and then Tops made a card for the bees, and I was like, that's amazing. So I just kind of thought they were just kind of messing with me, and then like my buddies are like, Tops are looking for you. They're asking you to DM them, and so I DM Tops, and Tops is like, I have this idea. We have this idea. Here's what we want to do. We want to make your own baseball card, and we want to give you all of the copies of the card, and we want to make 110 copies for when Bo Bichette like hit that screamer at your face. How do you feel about it? And I was like, I feel awesome. Let's go. And so I said, yeah, let's do it. And Tops was amazing.
That's cool. Do you have the cards yet, or you're
No,
waiting
no,
for
I
them?
signed. I signed some stuff last week, and it's gonna take them a minute. But I've got some on auction right now on eBay. I'm auctioning, like, they're not in hand yet, but I'm auctioning 4 off for charity. I want to give partial proceeds to the Holland Blue Review Kids Rehabilitation Center or hospital. They have a concussion center, and I thought that, like, because when I got rocked and, like, you know, the lady stole my ball, kids walked up to me with their bobbleheads, and they were like, "Would you like my bobblehead?" And I was like, that they waited in hours in the line for, and I was like, "No, like, it's okay. Thank you so much, though." And it like made me feel much better right away.
Oh, it was the bobblehead night too?
Yeah, it was Chris Bassett, Hound on the Mound bobblehead night. Although on the bobblehead there's not hounds, they're his dogs, so they're like, I think they're Bringer Spaniels or whatever.
Well, that's a great cause, the concussion center, and
Yeah.
that's a great thing that you're doing. I hope that you get some good bids there. And
Yeah, it's up. They're already up to $1,600, man,
holy,
each card.
that's great.
I know, guys. I started the bidding at $1.10. I was like, $1.10, let's go. I thought maybe I'd get $300-400 a card.
I logged on to see the cards and I was like, "Whoa, wow! These are so. This is doing really well." Like I was really surprised. It was amazing, right? Like it's good cause.
Bud, you and me both. But I've had thousands of people reach out to me. I was walking down the street. People give me their numbers for the cards. Oh, guys, I don't know. Today I was at the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team, and I signed a ball for a kid, and I'm sitting on the hill just shooting the breeze, and a kid comes up to me with a foam finger and says, "Hey, can I trade you this foam finger for one of your baseball cards?" And I had to be like, "I'm so sorry. No, I also don't have them yet." So in order to give, because like I don't know how to baseball card, I need to figure it out, right? Like, so in order to have cards to give that I can give to people, because I want, like, I'm getting 110, and I think they're important. People seem to want them. And like, so in like I can't. What I thought when they gave me the card, I was like, oh, people can put them on their fridge. Like I'm like, oh, you can just stick it on your fridge. Won't that be funny? But it turns out, no, that's not
They'll want
the
it,
protocol.
yeah. They'll want it in a sleeve, and yeah.
Yeah. So, but that was it. So I always thought I could give them away to people, but no. So like people like are like on me to buy these things, and I was like, oh, they're actually value. So there was somebody making knockoffs on eBay. So I
Already?
hit him up, and I was like, yeah. Oh, it was a first day. First day, a guy is making knockoffs on eBay, and I'm like, that's amazing. So I was like, I don't care that you're making money off my face. Good for you. Can I have like 50 on a deal? Just give it to me on a deal. I'll pay you money. And he's like, no, I'm just going to send them to you. So I will have cards to give children if they ever ask me again, signed in my pocket, like ready to go.
What media appearances have you made this week? It looks like I did a search for Liz McGuire and my screen lit up with videos and
My face, my big stupid face everywhere. Yeah, I'm tired of my own face. I did New York Times. I did Washington Post. What else? I was on. So there's all these. Here's what's goofy, guys. There was all these media articles I didn't do, but they were reporting on my Twitter. So that's your People Magazine. That's your Fox News. A lot of your Sports Illustrated. They weren't talking to me. They were literally just reporting on my Twitter. So then when the media started knocking on my door, I was like, yeah, I'll talk to you. I mean, I've done all the Canadian news outlets. I did a call-in show in Iowa. I've done some call-in shows in Southern Ontario. Yeah, I've done the Washington Post. Yeah, again, the Washington Post, the New York Times. I did the Mike Wilner podcast. I've been out there, guys. Like whether I like it or not, I just got out there. I did like Virgin Radio. I did some Toronto talk call-in shows. And like the thing is that like, and oh yeah, sorry, I did Inside Edition from Hollywood, California. Inside Edition.
That's the weirdest one.
And so Inside Edition is like, they're super Hollywood. They're like, Liz, was it worth it? And I was like, no, not even a little bit.
That's a weird one. Why would they even be?
I know. I heard TMZ was sniffing around for me, but thankfully, they never showed up.
So this happens on Friday. How did you get some sweet work from home time this past week, or?
Oh, I am so concussed. I am actually.
Okay, so you're off on short term.
Well, I'm hella concussed. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm off on. I'm just hanging out. My workplace is the best. I literally was like, and my boss is like, I work in strategy and process design. I'm a project manager, and I was kind of just like, it was so like terrifying what had happened. I'm just hanging out. But yeah, I've like super concussed. I've been nauseous for days. I eat I can't eat hard food. It hurt. I'm so nauseous. I'm having weird memory issues where like I'll be walking down the street and kind of just like, oh, I'm here now, and I have no sense of time. That's me.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but I would not advise getting rocked in the face. Now, 110 miles an hour, don't do it.
Well, I watched the video that you posted, and yeah, it's serious. Like
it's a screamer,
yeah,
right?
It is a scream. I was actually going to play. I wanted to play a guessing game of like where was Liz when this happened, because I hadn't seen actually any video of it, and then like I saw, I was like, oh, I didn't even play the video, and I saw that you were on the third base side, so it kind of. I thought maybe I was like, oh, is Bo Bichette, is he kind of likes to flick kind of stuff off to the first base side,
backwards.
But man,
usually but it's backwards.
You finally
turned
on one.
Yeah, he did. He turned him right to my face, and usually they bounce or something. And like, I don't think I could have beat that even if I tried.
No, that's rough. That was a screamer. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you're feeling better. Dustin, I sent her a link on Friday. I'm like, oh, if you want to check out what we do, and Liz is like, I'm feeling a bit rough, bud. Like, I'll chat with you later.
Yeah, like it's like I'll do it later. Like it's been like, cause yeah, like that's it. Like yeah, I am the meme of Toronto. I am the current IKEA monkey of Toronto. People, I'm walking down the street, they're taking my picture. It's been a lot. It's been sick. Everyone's like, are you okay? But like I'm also like, I got really hurt. I got really hurt. So we're working through it.
How many selfies have you taken? I just.
Oh, bud, at least 50.
All right.
Easy 50. Yeah, like in fact, like the Blue Jays 50/50 staff, they were collecting selfies of me in their group chat, which is sick.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is all the time we have. I really appreciate you joining us, Liz, and telling us all about this week. And maybe you'll join us again sometime to talk some Jays.
Yo, have me anytime you want some hot takes that are grounded in nothing more than emotion. You let me know.
No, you fit right in on this podcast. It's been great. Yeah, this was a great convo. Thanks, Liz.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. Thanks, everyone.